So after a very long time, there is some good news for India in the international scene. And that good news is related to Indian economy. Yes, very good news for the Indian economy. And that good news is related to a sovereign credit rating upgrade for India. You see, countries are also rated based on their credit worthiness. These ratings are called credit ratings. And there are three big companies in the world that give this credit rating to all the countries. Okay, these are the three most respectable companies. One such company has upgraded India's sovereign credit rating. Now, this is a big deal for India. And the proof of that lies in the fact that India has been complaining to all three companies for so long that they are biased against India. Despite having such good economic fundamentals, these companies, these Western companies, were not upgrading India's sovereign credit rating. But recently, one such company called S&P upgraded India's sovereign credit rating. And this is a big deal. Many economists, many experts, many policymakers are very happy because of that. So why is sovereign credit rating upgrade such a big deal? What's so special about sovereign credit rating? We'll talk about this today. So hello and welcome to Jumbo IS and welcome to this brand new lecture series called UPSC Nuggets. In this lecture series, we cover one concept every day, the concept which is related to your UPSC syllabus and has a high probability of featuring in your exams in future. So make this lecture series a part of your daily routine. Be consistent with this lecture series because by this, you'll be covering one important concept every day. Little work every day adds up to a lot of work by the time you're ready for your examination. So follow this lecture series regularly. So our today's topic of discussion is sovereign credit rating. And the reason why we are discussing this is because recently S&P, a global credit rating agency, the most renowned global credit rating agency, upgraded India's sovereign credit rating. Now, this is a significant news. It is important. It will have a lot of repercussions for India's economy. In a good way, though. Now, what are those repercussions? For that, you need to understand what sovereign credit rating is. So, we will try to unpack this heavy concept called sovereign credit rating. So, let's begin. Okay? So, sovereign credit rating. Now, to understand sovereign credit rating, you need to first understand the meaning of the word credit rating. And then we'll try to understand what this word sovereign means. And then by combining the two, you'll understand the meaning once and for all. Okay. So first, let's talk about credit rating. Okay. So what is credit rating? Let's take a look at the definition first. So a credit rating is an evaluation of the credit risk of a prospective debtor or let's say borrower. Okay. It is the practice of predicting or forecasting the ability of a supposed debtor to pay back the debt or default. Basically, the thing is, all of us, you, me, and all the other Indians, not just Indians, many companies in India, they have a credit score. Okay, so all individuals in India, all companies in India who borrow money from banks, they have a credit score. Now, what does this credit score signify? This credit score basically talks about their credit worthiness. And what do you mean by credit worthiness? When the bank will give a loan to this person, whether he'll pay back that loan or whether he'll default. Basically, if your or any company's credit score is high, well, that means that this particular company is a risk-free borrower. Banks will be ready to lend money to that company, okay? Because he always pays back his loan on time. But if your credit score is low, then what happens? Well, if your credit score is low, then you are a risky borrower. Giving money to you, loaning money to you is a risky proposition. There is a 50-50 chance or there is a good chance that you won't return this money back and you will default. So basically, this credit score is for banks to check who to lend and at what interest rate. So whenever banks give you a loan, They check your credit score because it is important for them. It is important information for them. They want to know what kind of person they are loaning to, right? So this credit score is given to all borrowers, right? Now, remember this, okay? Credit score is inversely proportional to your risk. Basically, if your risk is high, if you're a risky borrower, your credit score will be low. And if you are a non-risky borrower, you're a safe borrower. Okay, if your risk is low, your credit score will be high. Make sense? So banks utilize this credit score before giving money to you. Simple? Yes. Now, credit score is basically used, number one, to check your credit worthiness. Okay. Number two, basically the risk. Number two, the interest rate on your loan. Okay, interest rate on your loan. If your credit score is low, well, very few banks would be ready to loan money to you. But even the banks that are ready to loan money to you, well, they would charge a very high interest rate. Remember this equation, okay? Interest rate is directly proportional to the risk of the borrower. Remember this part. Okay? So if you are a risky borrower, the banks that are ready to give loan to you will charge very high interest rate. And if you are a least risky borrower, if your credit score is good, then interest rate on you would be low. So it is useful to have a good credit score. Why? Because more and more banks would be ready to loan out money to you, plus they would charge a very low interest rate. Simple. Now this credit score can also be called credit rating. Okay. Now hear me out carefully again. Okay. So now you understand credit score, credit rating. Now, the thing is, this credit rating, credit score and credit rating, by the way, are one and the same thing. Now, the thing is that this credit rating is given to individuals, okay, companies, any type of company that borrows money from banks, okay, and governments, or let's say countries. So when we give a score to governments and countries, we add the word sovereign. Okay? When we are talking about individuals and companies, we say credit rating or credit score. But when we give this score to governments and countries, we add this extra word called sovereign. Because sovereign means government. Sovereign actually roughly translates into supreme lawmaking authority. And supreme lawmaking authority in any country is the government. So sovereign word signifies government. So when we say the word sovereign credit rating, we are basically talking about the credit rating of governments, countries. Make sense? Simple. So sovereign credit rating is credit rating for countries, which basically talks about, or which basically reveals, the credit worthiness of that country. Clear? Now, again, hear me out carefully. There are three big companies in the world that provide sovereign credit rating to countries. Okay, three big companies. S&P, Moody's, and Fitch. Okay, the company that recently upgraded India's sovereign credit rating was S&P. Clear? And let me tell this to you also. What is the advantage of having a good sovereign credit rating? Okay, what is the advantage? If a country has good sovereign credit rating, well, it is a signal to all the foreign investors of the world that this is a safe country. So invest in this country because you will get your money back. So basically, if your credit score is high, if your sovereign credit rating is high, foreign investments in your country increase because foreign investors feel secure. If your credit score is high, well, many banks, international banks, are ready to loan out money to you. So there is huge inflow of capital into the country. Plus, Remember I told you that, well, higher the risk, higher the interest rate. So if your sovereign credit rating is high, your country's risk is low. And if your country's risk is low, well, the interest rate charged by international banks while loaning money to your country would also be low. So you will be given loans, you will be given capital at very low cost. That is very low interest rate. Again, an advantage for India, right? So it's better for India to improve its sovereign credit rating because it will increase foreign investments, foreign borrowings, plus it would also make our debt sustainable because interest rate would be low on this. Make sense, right? Now, what are the parameters based on which this S&P, Moody's, and this Fitch company, these companies, these credit rating agencies rate a country? Okay, what sort of parameters they check? So we won't talk about the whole list of indicators or parameters that these companies check, but I'll give you a rough idea. Okay, basically they look at a country's GDP growth rate, right? They look at a country's inflation. If inflation is high, credit rating will be low. Low inflation is good for your credit rating. So they take a look at your inflation. They take a look at your debt to GDP ratio. Okay, investment climate, business environment, ease of doing business, all these parameters are looked at. GDP growth rate, inflation, debt to GDP ratio, okay, fiscal deficit in your country, of your government, all these things are looked at before giving you a credit rating. Okay, and the recent credit rating upgrade for India by S&P was because in recent times, though India's growth rate is 6.5%, but it is still one of the fastest growing economies in the world. It recently overtook UK. Okay, it has low inflation currently. Our debt to GDP ratio has also declined and our fiscal deficit is also under control, and that is why S&P improved our credit rating. Clear? Make sense? Now, you know about the advantages of good credit rating. Okay, you know the parameters also which are looked at. Clear? Now let's talk about the ratings these three companies give. So take a look at this image. Okay, this is for S&P, this is the rating scale of Fitch, this is the rating scale of Moody's. Okay, so let's take a look at S&P only. So S&P gives these grades to countries: AAA, AA plus, AA, AA minus, A plus, A minus, triple B, all these things up till C. Okay, so these are the grades given to each country. Now remember this, from AAA to triple B minus, okay, this is known as investment grade. Investment grade means that if your country has any of these grades, okay, foreign investors can invest in these countries. Though there is a hierarchy, there is gradation, but these are investment grade countries. And below this is known as speculative grade. So foreign investors can invest in these countries with speculative grade ratings, but it is highly risky. You can invest, but there is a good chance that you won't make your money back. Okay, they are highly risky. So take your decision accordingly. That is why most foreign investors invest in investment grade economies. Okay, now within investment grade, as you can see, the best is AAA. USA had AAA status. Countries with AAA status have no problem getting foreign investment, have no problem in getting very low interest rates. Okay, and so on and so forth. The last in investment grade is triple B minus, and India was at triple B minus. Okay, this is India. India was at triple B minus, but recently S&P upgraded India's status from triple B minus to triple B. This is the news. So we are from triple B minus to triple B. The next would be triple B plus, and then next would be A minus. Clear? So this is our status. So this is the news. We are upgraded from triple B minus to triple B by S&P. And what are going to be the benefits of all of this? Well, we have discussed this. More foreign investments, low cost of capital, low interest rate. Okay, and our debt would be sustainable. Why? Because interest rates would be low. So your debt would be sustainable. So these are the benefits of the upgrade, and that is why India is happy. But still, many in India are not that happy. And why they are not that happy? Because for long, Indian policymakers, including Indian Economic Survey, they have complained that these Moody's, S&P, Fitch, these companies are biased against India. India deserves at least A plus rating or A minus or A, but you have given us triple B minus. India deserves a better rating because India is the fourth largest economy in the world. Our economic fundamentals are very good. Yet, we are in the category of B, triple B category. Now, this doesn't justify, okay? Our economic fundamentals are very good, yet these companies have kept us at this low level. So many policymakers, many ministers, many economists in India have long complained about this, that these companies are biased against economies like India. They are more in favor of Western economies. But be that as it may, slight improvement is also an improvement. So we should celebrate this. This is really good news for India, at least for the near future. So we should celebrate this. Okay? I hope you got sovereign credit rating. Clear? All right.